Now, I want to turn to reaction to President Obama's speech in this country. The President spoke for 27 minutes tonight. Did he make his case? Senator Lindsey Graham is one of the top Republicans on the Armed Services Committee. He says the President should have acted sooner in Libya. Senator, what did you make of the speech?
Parts of it are very good. I like the way he explained to the American people how our national security interests required us to act in Libya at this moment, and the way we chose to act. We should have done it about 3 weeks ago. This thing would have been over. But I thought he did a good job talking about the signal we would send if Gaddafi murdered his way back into power, that we're a values-based people, and standing by these young people in Libya will serve us well in the future. But the line that really sort of broke my heart was that regime change by force would be a mistake. The goal of this country is to replace Gaddafi. If you look at the balance sheet of what it cost this nation with Gaddafi versus what it cost without him, it is in our interest to get rid of him, and the opposition needs continued military support, not a ground invasion by the U.S. or any other Western power, but air support all the way to Tripoli. Very few people want to die for Gaddafi. So if we'll continue the model we have in place of following the rebels, knocking out tanks and artillery, they will win. If we back off, this thing's going to go for a long time and a lot of people die unnecessarily.
Senator, I mean, you've criticised President Obama for taking too long. He made quite a good point in the speech that he took 31 days to help build this coalition, whereas in somewhere like Bosnia, it took a year.
Well, at the point, the opposition forces had Gaddafi on the ropes, and we did not impose a no-fly zone at a time when it would matter the most. But you know, we made mistakes in Iraq. And to my fellow Republican friends, nobody complained about the cost in Iraq or Afghanistan on our watch. So I'm really tired of hearing people talking about it cost too much. Let me tell you what it costs this country if Gaddafi comes back into power. Instability forever. Incredible oil price spikes. Our allies, France and Italy, depend on Libyan oil. Young people throughout the Arab world thinking that we let them down at a time we could help them. So the balance sheet of keeping him versus letting him go is not even close.
But, Senator, you do talk about the economic part of all this, and that's very laudable. The reality, though, is we don't know much about these rebels, do we?
Well,
I mean, if I may just finish, I'm told that these rebels, for example, may be housing significant numbers of al-Qaeda members, for example. I mean, is that the kind of rebel army that we should be supporting?
Here's what I do know. These people who are fighting Gaddafi, I don't believe are taking to the streets and risking their lives to replace Gaddafi with al-Qaeda. There are al-Qaeda elements, but we need to pour it on. We need to stay behind the opposition forces, give them the military support just like we're doing now. But when this is over and Gaddafi leaves, it would be a huge mistake not to help the Libyan people. They've been enslaved for 40 years. And if there are al-Qaeda elements in that country, we will help the Libyan people take care of them. It is my belief that these young Arabs in Egypt, Tunisia, Libya, now Syria, do not want to replace these regimes with more oppressive regimes. They're not going to the streets in Egypt to have al-Qaeda to take over. I don't buy that for 1 minute.
But isn't that exactly what people were saying in Iran before they were indeed taken over by extremists?
Well, here's what happened in Iran. When the Shah fell, we didn't do anything in the few months before the Ayatollahs came back. You know what? When we replaced Saddam, we made a mistake. But we're getting it right finally in Iraq and Afghanistan. If we will help the Libyan people at a time when they need us the most, which is now militarily, and when he leaves, Gaddafi, if we will help them economically and diplomatically and help build a civil society, it will pay great dividends. This is a generational struggle. History is being made in the Arab world. Don't let it pass. Help these people. They need our help, and they will remember us fondly if we stay with them. It is in our national security interest to get Gaddafi out of there and to help the good people of Libya, and I think the good people of Libya will win the day with our help.
Senator Graham, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.